Hey, been trying to meet you.
What is up, Russ?
Oh, just on Instagram been trying to meet you.
Is it on the Instagram?
No.
No? It's saying it's live. I'm watching
Oh,
it.
it just popped up now. I guess it's because, Jim's not here and it doesn't want to work properly. But it's working now. I see us. So, why am I here?
Well, we should be on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch.
I don't know. I don't have the Twitch.
Well, we're experimenting with the Twitch. If anybody's on Twitch, shout out.
What up, Twitch?
So, where's my mouse? So, did you hear what was going on with Jim and Toby?
I mean, I kind of know something about a space mission.
Yeah. So, hold on. There's like a written thing here.
Yeah, let's see what it is.
So, we had our writers come up with this. So it all started when NASA detected a massive asteroid the size of Texas hurtling towards Earth. Unlike in the movies, the government didn't go, call on a ragtag group of oil drillers. This time,
no Ben Affleck.
No Ben Affleck. But this time they decided to call some kings of the podcast world, Jim and Toby. And turns out both of them have been in training in secret for years, anticipating this exact scenario. And NASA knew that sending engineers would be just horrible. So they decided that they would send these podcast guys. Jim was known for his calm demeanor while tasked with overseeing communications, much like on the podcast where he tells you to like and subscribe. But
hey, everybody, Toby, go ahead and like and subscribe, please.
See, look at you. We have there.
Ooh, fancy pants.
Yeah. So, Toby, he was assigned as the critical role of motivating the astronauts with his impeccable taste in music, I guess, and his relentless optimism. Who wrote this? Because he has zero optimism ever. Together, they were launched into space on a modified shuttle. It was actually a Lincoln Continental. And their mission was to land on the asteroid, drill into its core, and plant a nuclear bomb to divert its trajectory, just like in Armageddon. But they even had a brief moment of levity when Toby tried to explain the concept of no Googling to the astronauts, insisting they figure out the math and physics without any help. You see, that's a callback to this podcast and its rule of no Googling. So meanwhile, back on Earth right now, Russ, that's you're having to fill in on the podcast, playing it cool while silently worrying about his friends as they're hurtling towards space on an asteroid.
I miss you, Jim. I mean, I miss you, Toby.
And Jim, or just Toby?
Well, I love Toby.
Okay.
That's because, me and Toby have our secret little relationship on the podcast.
I know. It's not a secret, though.
I love you too, Jim.
So, Jim and Toby are reliving the plot of Armageddon and singing the song to each other, I assume.
I don't know who's singing to who.
You never close your eyes. I miss you, babe.
Yeah.
It don't mean a thing. It's playing in my head. It makes sense up here. So, Russ, you're here. You're filling in. Both of the guys decided that they're going to take a weekly sabbatical. I actually don't have any idea where they are, to be completely honest. I didn't ask.
Wait a second. Didn't Jim just take a sabbatical like 2 weeks ago?
He did. He's on multiple sabbaticals.
Okay.
So
it's okay. It's acceptable.
Yeah. It seems he's sabbaticaling his sabbatical currently. Anyway, you're here This week well, tell us about your podcast again, and then we'll kind of go into it.
Well, my podcast is just me talking to random folks, either about music, their careers, like tattoo artists, other podcasters, just people that I want to talk to and find out more things about them.
And what's it called?
My podcast is called "Been Trying to Meet You." Oh, wait, that's this one. My podcast is called "You Want It, You Got It."
All right.
So, and
sounds sexy.
Yeah,
sounds like sexy time, Russ.
Well, me and Rob had sexy time on Monday on the "You Want It, You Got It" podcast.
I mean, we talked.
That wasn't sexy?
I mean, it was sexy, but we just regular talked. We didn't like.
Okay, you're right. That's just normal.
Yeah. So, on your podcast, it's normally, people talking about music. On this podcast, we always have a guest. We're doing something kind of different on both. You're doing something different. I'm doing something different here. We're going to actually start a new podcast together where we just kind of talk about old times, old stories, and all sorts of fun stuff. What is it called, Russ?
Our podcast is called The Moron Brothers Reflecting Hour.
Yes. So that's kind of what we're doing this week on this show and on Russ's show, which you can listen to. We're just kind of, talking about what we're going to be talking about on our other podcast. I like to call it a backdoor pilot
episode, or it's like a prequel, like kind of like a Star Wars.
Prequel. It's like Star Wars. Yeah. So we're just going to kind of talk. One thing I did want to let everybody know, we do have a guest next week. Toby will be excited. It's a female. And it's not
Hold on, Rob, let me guess. Have you known her for like 15 or 20 years?
I've known her. I like 13, 14, 15, 13.
Okay. All right. So 15.
13,
okay.
14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tune in next week, new guest. But want to remind everyone, we like guests on this show. We're always looking for guests. Once you're a friend of the show, you can always come back. So you can sign up again. But now we got an even easier way for you to sign up to be a guest.
Can I tell them?
Let them know, Russ.
If you go to BeenTryingToSignup.com, you can sign up.
Really? It's that easy? BeenTryingToSignup.com. And what does it do? It gives you a calendar.
Correct.
And you just can schedule away.
Well, you can't really schedule away. You can only select Wednesdays.
You can select Wednesdays currently. Currently. But things could change. All right, Russ. Let's get into it. Let's talk about old times. Let's talk about Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Actually, so when I first moved to Clarksville in '93, there was a tragedy.
That was the good design. Oh, sorry, you're going into that. But I was going to talk about the good design of Taco Bell.
Well, you mean with like all the pastel colors?
The like neon pink and yeah,
like the Saved by the Bell kind of
background here.
Yeah. Or like the Max.
Or like the Max on Saved by the Bell. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So talk about good old Clarksville.
Yeah. Remember? Do you remember the Taco Bell massacre?
I very much do. Courtney Matthews.
Yeah. He's actually currently still in jail to this day.
He's not dead? For some reason I thought he got executed.
During COVID, they tried to let him go.
I got him confused with Paul Reed because Paul Reed got.
That's the guy that
Baskin Robbins.
When you were off that day, right?
No, I didn't work there at that time. I was living in Murfreesboro then.
Oh, okay. But he was like Baskin Robbins, Kroger's, Nashville, and that's where he got caught, was in Nashville, I believe. But yeah, no, but Taco Bell, man. What's your favorite thing to get at Taco Bell? Or what was your favorite thing that's no longer available?
A Chilito.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Do you remember going to Taco Bell and spending like $40?
Well,
in 1995.
yeah, but you'd have enough food for like the month for $40.
It was for me and you went and we spent $40 at Taco Bell.
What did we get?
Everything. That was when they were like 59 cents, 69 cents, 79 cents was like 90% of the menu. And then like taco salad, nachos Bel Grande, and then like one other thing cost outside of that.
That was like $1.29.
Exactly. But yeah, we spent $40.
But
minimum wage was $4.15 an hour at this time.
Yeah, you're right. Can you imagine living off $4.15 now?
No.
I thought about that the other day because I had got, when I first got a job here in town, I was living in my apartment and minimum wage wasn't even $7 at that time yet. And I'm like, damn, I was working 40 hours a week, 80 hours every 2 weeks, getting a paycheck for like, maybe after taxes, $400 or some change. And you had to live off, you're able to live off that with an apartment, get all the goods and needs, like all the cable and all that stuff, and still be satisfied, Now you're making like
the apartment was like $400 a month for like a two bedroom.
Yeah, I had a nice apartment for that much.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about like when Blondie and I lived together, it was like $415.
Mm-hmm. I know those are now that apartment's that's where I lived, in my apartment. I lived there too.
Oh yeah. What do those cost now? Probably $1,600.
I bet you they probably cost about $1,000 to $1,200.
Oh really?
I would think. I don't know.
No clue.
Yeah.
No clue. So you have a CD that we were talking about.
Yeah, this CD is called No Alternative.
And where did it come from? It wasn't from Taco Bell?
No, it wasn't from Taco Bell. But do you remember though when they used to give out like CDs, or you'd buy like you had to buy like a meal and you would get the CD for like a 99 cents or something?
And that's what I thought that was actually.
No, I believe this was this was for the Red Hot organization, whatever that was for.
The
but
Chili Peppers?
I don't know, but it has pictures of like children in here, so I'm thinking it had to do with.
Whoa, Russ!
What?
Don't no pictures of children, man.
I mean, that looks like you.
It does. I never had like the series
with a hard part
like that. Yeah.
This looks like me. That's me.
The Chihuahua. I remember having that. What's some music that was on there though?
Okay, well, let's see. Oh, turn it over here. We got Matthew Sweet.
Okay.
Buffalo Tom, Soul Asylum. They cover sexual healing. Urge Overkill, American Music Club, Goo Goo Dolls, Pavement, Smashing Pumpkins, Bob Mould.
Fucking Pavement came out of left field there. Did not expect to hear Pavement on this list.
Sarah McLachlan, or McLaughlin, Soundgarden.
Sponsor a child. I mean,
is that who that was? No,
she's all about the dogs, man. She makes people cry.
You know how they made those dogs cry in that video, right?
They're just fucking sad dogs.
No, they poked their fingers in their eyes.
No, they didn't.
But I'm almost done here. It's a pretty nice little compilation of stuff, but you got like Patti Smith, The Breeders, Beastie Boys, Uncle Tupelo, don't even know who that is. Barbara Manning, The Straight Jacket Fits. I just got that. Straight Jacket Fits. Got it. And Soundgarden. Oh, I already said Soundgarden, but they're so good that you got to name them twice. I found this today for $2.
Well, good for you. I remember I had it. I thought I got it at Taco Bell. Maybe I just found it at Taco Bell.
What are some of your favorite fast food places that aren't around anymore?
Oh, that aren't around. I mean, like in Tennessee, we had Beefy's.
Yeah, I remember.
And like I miss Beefy's.
Now, was that only on Fort Campbell Boulevard?
No, there was one on Riverside Drive, basically where McDonald's is now on the corner
behind
there.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because that
Well,
McDonald's has been there since like the 60s.
It actually moved. So it was further down, and they keep building a new one in the parking lot. I think that they're on like their third one, but it's all in the same spot.
So
Yeah, so BT's was there.
longer.
What other fast food is like not around? Like,
I got one. Well,
okay,
not so much not around, but not in your area, for instance. Well, for me, I mean, I used to really enjoy Miami subs.
oh, I told you about the last time I went to Miami subs, right?
Yeah, it's like a drug front, right?
I mean, it was just horrible. Like, it was just the greasiest, most gross food. And like, flew into Miami.
Okay.
Which I hate Miami for so many reasons. But like, flew into Miami. They didn't have any cars. So the rental place gave me a Dodge Ram, like a huge truck. So I'm like, I'm going to Miami subs. I can't believe they still have one. You know, I'm like by myself. It's on a work trip. But like get off the plane. This was not the time that I'd left my suitcase on the plane and walked around the airport, which took an hour and a half for me walking in January in complete sweat in Miami because of the humidity. But no, went to Miami subs, so excited, went in there. Probably the only person who like goes inside of Miami subs in like 27 years. Go inside the Miami subs, order a sandwich, don't even know what I get, don't remember at this point. So excited, sit down, get my food. It is just like utter microwave slop. It is just gross. So disappointing.
Let me ask you a question now. Do you think that's how it always was? And we just for like, oh, it's just so good. And then the older we get, our taste buds and our, might change? Or do you think it just sucks now?
I think it was probably, I mean, how many Miami subs still exist? 3
True.
probably.
I mean, we had 2 in Clarksville and they both closed down. One became White Castle.
Yeah.
The other became Crystals, and then that closed, and then it became a CD store that sold used CDs and movies and video games.
Mm-hmm.
And then that closed down, and now it's so yeah. I'm gonna go with you and probably say maybe 3, but there's probably 1. But do you remember a fast food?
I think the food was delicious back then.
Okay. I always see I hear people say, oh, this doesn't taste as good as it used to. And I always say, even like food that's, like say Doritos, not Doritos, because Doritos taste fine. But some food like that, people are like, oh, it doesn't taste like it used to taste. Now, is it because our taste buds change, or did they change what they put inside the product to make it not taste the same? Like it's probably cheaper shit they're putting in the food nowadays and more crap, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I assume. That's kind of the whole idea behind the whole conspiracy theory. Yes, we just went to conspiracy theory territory about New Coke. When Coca-Cola switched over to New Coke, and the reason I even think about this is because the first time I ever had it was at that McDonald's down Riverside Drive. I remember waiting in line to get it. But so New Coke, the thought process in the conspiracy theory department is that Coke knew what they were doing. They were going to introduce something that no one was going to like as much. But in doing this, it was going to allow people, they'd reintroduce it in 6 months or whatever, the original formula, but they would change it from actual sugar over to high fructose corn syrup, basically allowing people's taste buds to kind of forget, at least the mass populace, because there was, people buying like crates of Coca-Cola, like original formula back in the day. But when they re-released it, in theory, they came out with high fructose corn syrup, which is true, I believe. I mean, I can't Google it, but
I mean, do you think? Yeah, I remember that because it was like, I don't know, like you say, you can't Google it, but so I don't know the exact year. I mean, was that like 83, 84?
83, 84, I think, yeah.
I mean, it was a big deal. Like it was crazy because that's the kind of shit. Like it was on the news. People, there were articles on the news about people complaining about it and what they're gonna do. And then a few months later, in the grocery stores, you see new Coke with the, like you said, or original Coke, original Coke classic. Yeah,
Yep.
that's when they added the classic to it. Now
they put that label on there. Yeah.
How far long after that was it when Pepsi came out with the clear?
Pepsi Clear, that would have been like 92, maybe.
I thought it was in the late. Well, it was not. It was in the 80s.
No, man, that was 90s.
90s. Okay, now that was some good shit.
You know, Coke came out with their version. It was called Clearly Tab.
Oh,
you remember Tab?
Tab was my shit. You know why I used to buy Tab? Because none of my friends would drink it.
Exactly. So that's what I would just get a 6-pack of it.
I grew up,
only came in 6-packs.
Yeah, and I grew up drinking Tab, in the 80s because people, because in the 80s everything was like Tab and Diet Coke. Everybody drank Diet Coke.
Do you know what Tab in theory stands for?
I do, but I can't remember. What's
totally artificial beverage?
Totally artificial beverage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's news to me. Now,
I don't know that that's real, but that's what I've always been told. So sounds good to me.
I used
3 letters.
I know, when Tab went wasn't selling as much when you go to Walmart or Kroger's, and they only had like one row of it because they don't have like the 4 rows up and down. They just had one little row with two 12-packs. I used to get the 12-packs of it.
So did you get it when it was Tab, or did you get it when it was Tab Extra? Because when
no, not the extra.
Extra.
It was still Tab.
Okay.
But now, is either of those around still?
No. Last I Wikipedia'd, no.
Yeah. So what's some other thing that you kind of say, like, we talked about this once before on here, but what are some of the other things that, say, as a child you miss or you can't find anymore?
Twigs are my favorite snack cracker of all time. If anybody even remembers Twigs, like that was like the greatest snack cracker ever.
Okay.
Eagle potato chips. Do you remember Eagle potato chips?
No. Is that a brand?
I think they were Anheuser-Busch. I think they were like
what?
Anheuser-Busch had their own. We talked about this before. I swear.
But I don't remember. But
yeah, so
that makes sense then why it's called Eagle.
Yeah. Those were 2 of my favorites. I think there's like, do you remember the Keebler Pizzeria chips?
Fire.
Yeah. What happened to those?
Great.
So good. Flour tortilla. That was the key, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they were different. Do you remember the original Taco Doritos?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. They throw back those every once in a while.
But they're not the same, I don't feel. But see, there we go again. Not the
same. I assume they've probably modified. They don't have I don't know. They used to fry it in dinosaur oil, and they just don't have that anymore, dude.
Yeah, that's what it was, the dinosaur oil. I noticed that Hostess has gotten skimpy with the cupcakes. The cupcakes with little swigglies on the top of it. They would have the chocolate, the vanilla, and I believe there's an orange one. But I feel, and you could peel off the top of the frosting because they would just sit there all together.
It always just gets stuck on the cellophane. Now, I think the cellophane that they have now is fine, but back in the day, they had much different cellophane.
I mean, was it worse for you than this cellophane that's out now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah. So, I bought a box of Ding Dongs. Those are the chocolate ones.
Yeah, they're the chocolate ones with the chocolate cover, right? And the chocolate inside. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So
they're kind of like huh?
Hold on. Go ahead.
I said they're kind of like the Swiss cake rolls, but
but they're circles. Yeah. So I opened it up, and it's in like a little white plastic bubble thing. And I look at Shelly and I was like, oh, I must have got the wrong thing. She's like, why? I was like, because they're supposed to be wrapped in aluminum foil.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like, they haven't been wrapped in aluminum foil in like 20 years.
Yeah, that's true.
I was so sad. I just really wanted them to be in aluminum foil.
When I was a kid, I remember going to the grocery store, Safeway or Lucky's, and they would have an aisle that was strictly black and white cans or black and white items that just said like cereal, beer, like the shit you see in the movies, but you actually could buy that in a store.
I remember seeing that at the commissary on Post.
Correct. Yes, they would. I remember seeing that, and I actually remember seeing that.
They still have that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just like, oh, Kellogg's had some. It's like the Friday batch. We're gonna give that away for like cheap, you know.
Oh yeah, I assume they just didn't have the packaging, or there's some reason that they even would bother.
But it was hella cheap though, you know. And then I never knew anybody that had it in their house, you know. I assume maybe the smelly kid in class, his family probably had that in their cupboards or something. But you know,
I bet my grandmother had like the sugar and the baking powder, just the like generic stuff. Because she ain't paying extra for anything. That like Kleenex, you pay extra for Kleenex because you need like real Kleenex, real Q-tips, those things you need.
What about
real like Heinz 57 ketchup? Though I'll make an argument for Hunt's. Let me just tell you, like, I'm okay with Hunt's, but start getting me into like a Royal Choice and some of the other like suspect ketchup, especially like the all natural ketchups, I get really upset.
See, I'm not a ketchup dude, so any ketchup is fine for me, but don't fuck with my soy sauce.
Kikkoman or Kikkoman?
Kikkoman, yeah, that's all I can have. I've tried to like be like not bougie and get the like Kroger brand. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't taste the same. It does not. So,
do you eat the packets of ramen just like the regular, like the 19-cent packets?
Okay, now, yes, I used to eat them. I have not had ramen in probably almost a year and some change, but I used to get those when I was like, yeah, I get them when I'm like, and they would sit in my cupboard. And if I was just like super lazy, I'd make one. Now, here's the problem with those ramens, and you could probably agree. One is never enough. You're like, fuck. But then you make two's too much. There's not an in between. It's like you eat one, you're like, oh, I can eat another one.
Yo, Blondie used to fucking pound 4 of those things.
But there's probably a reason why. I mean,
when we lived at that apartment,
that's why.
4, and I was like, bro, I didn't know that anybody, because I had never even eaten a whole one at that point.
What?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever, and I don't drink the soup.
Well, I don't. I drain the juice and just leave a tiny bit in there so you can put the sauce in, so it mixes up, so it's like just like a pasta.
So the reason I brought it up is you said soy sauce. They have soy sauce flavor now.
Yeah, well, they've had it, but I mean, what's it? I don't
they
even
changed the name.
I think it was the
Oriental.
Okay, but at the end of the day, Oriental. We always said Oriental. It was original.
Oh shit, was it?
Robert Schroeder just asked on Instagram, where is the chicken in the nuggets?
Oh, in McDonald's?
Are we talking if we're
talking McDonald's, if they're McNuggets, it's a proprietary substance, right? Isn't it like the weird pink juice?
I mean, didn't they change that over the years? Like they've gotten better or no?
Well, it's all white meat now.
Okay, it's not the pink sludge.
Well, the pink sludge is just raw chicken, but it's like formulated. So the McNugget specifically, there's 3 different shapes because it is processed. Even though it's all white meat, it's still like chopped up.
Are they stuck in a
But they
mold?
form it. Yeah, they're in a mold. And there's 3 different shapes. One of them's called like they're the tombstone.
Okay.
I used to know the 3 names of them.
Okay.
So yeah, they process it up, but I think it's chicken. It's just every part of the white meat of the chicken. So the normal McChicken sandwich that you get at McDonald's, right? That is white meat and dark meat, like chopped up, like processed and formed.
Yeah.
The McNuggets are all white meat. They used to have white meat and dark meat, but now it's just 100% white meat. The new McChicken or what the chicken Big Mac?
Oh, what's that?
The chicken Big Mac is 100% white meat, so it fills you up more.
Okay. I mean, I don't care what's in them chicken nuggets. If I have the opportunity, I will fuck them up.
Oh yeah, I love the nuggets.
I think was it last year we tried to eat like I think we both got like 75 or 50 a piece, and then we tried to chow them down. I think we
hit like 14
and it had a couple fries, and that was it. I think the dogs ate the rest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean,
I
at least they
always
went
get
to
like a
something.
big like a big head. Like let me eat the nuggets. Yeah, they used to have the 50 pack. That's what it was, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. What's your favorite McDonald's dipping sauce for your nuggets?
Like currently, I mean, I just get like the barbecue normally. Like
See,
I'd like the honey mustard to be better, but it's just like it doesn't like stick on nuggets. I'd really like the old school shallow honey packet. Do you remember those?
mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I even requested honey the other day and they didn't give me any.
Man, see, that was like in the 80s when chicken nuggets first made their debut.
Hot mustard, barbecue, sweet and sour, and then or honey.
Honey, yep, that's exactly right. And those were big. That was a big deal, you know.
They
I
don't
think
have those honey packets anymore. They have it in whatchamacallit? Just like the ketchup packet, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like they have it in there. And so I'm not putting that on my nuggets. That's just like I want that shallow.
And it's probably came in the shallow because if it was a deeper one, that honey would get too hard, so it was hard to dip in. So when it's shallower,
for the biscuits. It's for the morning for the biscuits.
Yeah.
That's why they had it.
Gotcha. Do you remember as a kid in the 80s at McDonald's, they used to have obviously the kids meals have changed over the years, but they used to have the kids meals came in this like a disc flying saucer thing. So once you got done eating your kids meal, you put these 2 pieces together and you can throw it, and it was like a spaceship and would float like a frisbee.
Yeah.
Those, that was pretty cool, man.
I always loved the Happy Meals that were things like the little, trick or treat buckets or
and
stuff like that.
They just put they do the trick or treat buckets now every year now, right? Again, they process that.
I don't think they have like the lids. People are like talking mad shit about them.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I do remember that. Do you remember the big kid meals? That ones that came out a couple years ago.
Like, did we go get them?
Yeah, they came with like the toys. Like they had like
like the Cactus Flea Market.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That was the only time they did the big kid meal, right?
Well, did you see all the hell that went down after all that? People were like fighting in the streets over some fucking toys, kind of like the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. No, not Popeyes. Popeyes, when they had that Popeyes sandwich, people were going to town, fighting over this Popeyes chicken sandwich.
The Popeyes chicken sandwich is what caused COVID. You know that the chicken sandwich wars is what happened. Like Popeyes is like, let me come out and throw down the gauntlet of chicken sandwich, and then Chick-fil-A is like, oh no, God will spite you with this plague. This isn't how it happened.
Real quick,
hot take, Russ.
Real quick, Rob, give a shout out to Jimothy is listening on the Instagram right now.
Oh, Jimothy's here from space where he's saving the planet.
but he's watching the podcast. So he's
Crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
Hope you're killing that comment, sir.
It's asteroid, not
Asteroid.
comment.
Sorry, asteroid. And I hope Toby's with you and he's doing well. Oh, I think Jimothy lied to all of us.
He says he's in Miami, not in outer space, which is weird because we told everyone that.
Yeah, I thought he was in space because that's what I was told by NASA.
Yeah, NASA gave us the wrong info. Well, hey Jim, glad you're in Miami. It's
are you at Miami Subs?
We did talk about Miami Subs. Jim, go report back and let us know if Miami Subs is any good.
Any good.
I'm trying to think of other like fast food places that have like closed down that, I can think of like some restaurants like Chi-Chi's, man. When Chi-Chi's closed down, that was like a heart attack.
Okay. Chi-Chi's and Chevy's, I always got confused.
Like, yeah, Chevy's still exist.
Chi-Chi's is not?
Or not Chevy's, Chewy's. No. Chevy's. There's a Chewy's and there's a Chevy's.
Yeah, there's Chewy's. Are Chewy's a national chain or are they just Nashville?
No, there's national. There was one up here. I think it just closed down.
But I remember when I lived in Germany on one of the bases, that was the cool base because they actually had an actual restaurant. I think they had Chevy's and Olive Garden at the time. But now as far as like restaurant, like we used to have Susie Q's. And
what? Yeah, that was like that was like a Clarksville thing, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought Dodge's Chicken was only in Clarksville, and then I went to Murfreesboro, and they have one in Murfreesboro. Then I find out they have one in Jackson, Tennessee as well.
Yeah, it's like a Tennessee thing, I think.
So,
but yeah, Susie's. I just remember they had 25-cent hamburgers.
Bro, after 5 o'clock, you can get like a whole bag for like $2 with some fries.
That was like a local place because their packaging was all white and like
it was good. I never paid because I had to hook up at the one on Wilma.
Last time I ever went to a Susie's, I went with you. I do remember that.
So. Hey, that was the original fake patty right there. I think it was all soy.
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Bob said Bennigan's. So Bennigan's.
Yeah, I don't know that.
It was like it's kind of like an Applebee's, but little classier maybe. I mean, I went to Applebee's yesterday. It's delicious.
We don't have to go there on that. We have already talked about Applebee's enough. We can go ahead and skip that.
I only will sit at the bar. They're like, "Oh, would you like a booth?" I'm like, "No, I got to go to the bar." They're like, "Oh, what do you want to drink?" I'm like, "Mountain Dew."
Okay.
But I have to sit at the bar.
What's your go-to restaurant? Like, what's your go-to restaurant? Like in the United States, what is your go-to restaurant? Like
Outback, usually.
Okay.
Like if like Jim and I were on our mancation like 13 years ago, and we just like went to a random city and we're like, oh, let's go to Outback. Outback. It's just easy. You know what you're gonna get.
Well, I like Chili's. I cannot go wrong with Chili's.
You know what? I seem to remember taking you to a Chili's, and you have been talking shit for the last 15 years.
No, but for real, I fuck with Chili's hard, bruh. Like when I used to manage a theater in the mall, I had the hookup with the manager at the Chili's, and I'd be like, "Yo, I got 15 movie passes. Let me get, blah blah blah," and then I get somebody to go pick it up, and then yeah. So, no, but real talk, I fuck with Chili's. But I just remember when we went to Florida, my first and only time ever going to Florida. You were like, "Fuck, there's nothing open," and then you're like, I got something I know. I'm gonna take you there, and we go to Chili's, and I'm like, "Ooh, fancy." And
it was fucking 11 o'clock at night, bro, on a Sunday.
It was the fanciest thing open.
I mean, I could have taken you to 3 Coins, which was like a diner, but you could have got a hooker.
I'm about to say that sounds like a strip club.
It's not. It was just like it was an amazing diner. They had the largest pancakes I've ever seen. It's still around, I believe. I hope. Knock on wood. But Jim lived not next to, but really close at one time to there. What?
I mean, actually, Jim, if you sit at the bar, they do give you free chips and salsa.
Jim said, I don't know if I've been to Chili since they gave out chips and salsa. If I'm checking out on Foursquare, man, Foursquare, that's an old
throwback.
school.
We talked about Foursquare the other day, me and you.
I know Foursquare. That was one thing that it was good for, was like getting you free stuff. Like Chris Johnson and I went to like a Broadway play. Colin Quinn. We talked about Colin Quinn the other day, actually, on your show. Yeah, but Chris and I went to his one-man show, and it was directed by Jerry Seinfeld. And the funny part is, the worst part about the one-man show was the stage direction. Like, he would like awkwardly walk from one side of the stage to the other, stop, like talk and turn his head. And like, oh man, he should have never been directed by Jerry Seinfeld, who's like the most robotic person in Hollywood. So that makes sense. But we like checked in on Foursquare, and it's like, oh, you have a free, come get a free magnet. So I think we have like free magnets that we like won. And we got like invited to like parties and like weird stuff when we were in New York. So
wait. You just said you got invited to parties in New York. That sounds kind of suspect right there, Rob.
Why?
Oh, you went to a party in New York. Was it a Diddy party?
It was not. We're anti-Diddy party, sir.
Okay, just checking. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what,
so you've never been to Bennigan's. We're not going to talk about Diddy party. I can't.
No, I've never been to a Bennigan's. Never heard of it until I was listening to some comedy podcast, and they actually brought that up as well. But I've never.
I think one of the last Bennigan's was in Tampa, actually, at Channelside, which is not Channelside anymore. They had a Hooters. Jim used to like to go to the Hooters because it was right by the school.
Was that the OG Hooters?
No, the OG is in Clearwater.
Because you took me by there. We drove past it.
Yeah, the OG Hooters is in Clearwater.
I think it was small as shit.
But one thing that Bennigan's had was like a fried Monte Cristo sandwich.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you like that's like French toast, right? Like
I mean, it's like, I would say yes and no. No, yes. It's white bread with ham and turkey with cheese in the middle, and then you got some jelly in there, and then jelly, and then you batter it and then deep fry it.
What? I mean, delicious.
Yeah, it's like bread and then more bread, and yeah. I've never.
So why? I've had one. I've had the one at Bennigan's, and I think I've had one somewhere else, but it was like.
I mean, they became popular. They became. I mean, they became a thing. In Disneyland is where they kind of got started at.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had them because we used to have them at work, but we don't do it anymore.
Have you ever had deep fried pizza?
I would eat it. Yeah. I've not had it.
So, this would have been when I was in grad school. So 15 years ago, shortly after your Chili's extravaganza. I went to New York for, one of our trips with my grad school, classmates. And like when we're on the plane, like the in-seat, like TV on the back of the like JetBlue plane or whatever. It was showing, like a travel video, and it was like, oh, go to this place in Brooklyn, which is like home of deep fried pizza. And of course I'm like, say less, sir. So I, go, I'm staying with Chris Johnson at the time. So like I'm in Queens, like go to Queens, to Manhattan and then to Brooklyn. So it's like 2 hours to get some deep fried pizza, and I ended up meeting this guy Phil, his girlfriend, or probably wife at this point, partner, whatever people say.
Yeah.
He was there. He wasn't in the program. He had already actually gone, got his MFA somewhere else. But he was there, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll go get deep fried pizza." I saw that on the plane. I'm like, "Yes." So we decided to meet up. We go there. I end up talking to them about it because it's interesting. Like, they're known for their fish and chips, but they also have deep fried pizza. So we tried the deep fried pizza. And I talked to him. I'm like, "How the hell do you do this?" He's like, "We actually go get the frozen pizzas from the grocery store." He's like, "The only way you can deep fry a pizza, because it's got to be, before you put it in the batter, everything has to be like frozen.
Yeah.
The crust has to be really hard." So basically, it was like a Kroger, like the Kroger frozen pizza, deep fried. It wasn't horrible. I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the fish and chips. But here's a little story time for you. This was right around the time I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Actually, it was before I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease, but something was going on. Let's just say stomach wasn't doing its best. Again, before I can get back to Chris Johnson's place, it's 2 hours on a train. New York is not known for their restrooms or their public restroom availability.
No.
But Starbucks always has a restroom. Maybe not two, but a restroom.
A unisex bathroom.
Correct. I decided that I would go. I had to. I used to always go to like either an Apple store or like the Virgin Mega store. You know, there's always places that always had restrooms. But downtown, or like in Brooklyn, at that time there was no Apple store, so it was just like, okay, there's a Starbucks a few blocks down. There was nothing else. Go to the Starbucks, hit up that unisex. I'm in there for a little while, in pain, trying to figure out why my life sucks. Why'd I eat deep fried pizza, even though it was delicious? People are beating on the door, like I'm going to get murdered. Once I get done, I just like flip up the hoodie, put on the hat, like try to go for it. It's like 16 people standing outside, and like 15 of them are like soccer moms, and they are ready to kill me. And I was just like, I had deep fried pizza. What do you expect?
I mean, technically, they didn't really have to go to Kroger's or a grocery store to buy frozen pizza. They could have made the pizza, froze the pizza, and waited a couple of days, and then used that pizza to make it their own pizza. But
they make fish and chips, Russ.
I mean, okay.
It's like an Irish pub.
What's the craziest deep fried thing you've eaten? I've had a lot of fucking crazy deep fried shit.
I don't know that I've had anything that's crazy. I mean, I've had like deep fried butter and deep fried Pepsi and deep fried Dr.
I mean,
Pepper,
that's crazy because why the fuck are you deep frying butter?
Why not?
I've never had it, but is it kind of like a jelly-filled donut?
No, it's like a ooey gooey butter cake.
Ooey gooey. Okay. I've had deep fried Twinkies. I've had those were pretty tasty. I've had the deep fried Coke. I've had deep fried. I've had every damn vegetable that you could think of, damn near deep fried. At the Sacramento State Fair, they have, because it's kind of like in Texas every year at the big fair, you got to find a new hot thing to make so you can make money and blah blah blah. But I mean, I would damn near try anything if it was deep fried because, why not, right?
I used to have a deep fryer. I think I just gave it away like in the last 4 years, probably. It's set in this thing in the garage until I moved it out here.
Now you just have an air fryer.
I fucking love the air fryer.
Convection oven, basically.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I got this air fryer. It's so good for me. I'm like, it's a fucking convection oven. They just rebranded it and redesigned it.
Made it smaller though.
Yeah.
So
I actually have seen people, obviously it's all for fucking content, but it's still fucking hilarious. People putting fucking grease in there, oil in there to fucking use it because it's a fryer.
I do that.
Okay.
What? How much grease are we talking, or oil are we talking?
Like as much as you would put to deep fry something.
Oh no.
That's what I'm talking about.
No. So like I'm on my tortilla chip wave. Like I'm just literally cutting up tortillas and then I just throw them in the air fryer and then I'll just take a little oil and sprinkle it.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah. No, because you see people put like green beans and broccoli and they drizzle a little olive oil over it or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about these videos where you see people filling half the damn fucking tray with oil because it's a fryer.
Okay, those people, that's not right, man.
What happened? Right. Well, first off, what happens when that shit gets hot? What happens to oil when it gets hot? It expands. Yeah.
Do you know the state of New Jersey, it's illegal to fry a turkey?
Well, it needs to be illegal everywhere because some people are fucking idiots when it comes to fucking frying turkeys.
Yeah, so it's because like somebody got decapitated.
Wait, what?
I think it's either New Jersey or Pennsylvania. It's one of them.
Regardless, the story sounds good, so make it up as it goes.
So, have you ever fried a turkey like outdoors?
Yeah, I do. Well, I haven't done it lately because I haven't been with anybody for Thanksgiving.
Right. Yes. Okay, but you're aware. Yeah. Like, there's the big turkey fryer. You're a smart person, so you put a refrigerated or room temperature bird. But some people decide to put their frozen turkey, their frozen 20-pound turkey into what is that? Probably 380-degree oil. Guessing.
Yeah, about right.
Okay.
400, 450. Yeah. Anyway.
So you got a big pot. Well, you want to make sure that you get that turkey right there in the center, I would assume, right? So you want it to be in the center. You don't want it to be like throw it from the side. So you gotta get right over on top of it. And you drop that fucking thing while you're staring at it. You take a 20-pound bowling ball, essentially, you drop it at 3 degrees Fahrenheit, like it's frozen. You drop that in there. It hits the 380-degree oil. It is a projectile. It literally shot up, hit somebody on the chin, and knocked their head off.
That's good shit.
But
right there.
Yeah, but I believe it is actually, Jim's right. They cause house fires. So people, like the oil spills over onto the gas.
Yeah.
And so people catch their house on fire. So that's why it's illegal. But someone did decapitate themselves, and that's awesome.
My neighbor.
I mean, it's not awesome. It's.
I mean, it is pretty fucking awesome.
It's comical.
Because they're going to make a movie out of it, I'm sure. It's going to be a horror movie where it's going to be called Decapitated by Turkey or some shit. I've seen my neighbor, he takes his engine jack and hangs the turkey, and then he wheels it down into the grease of the fryer, and then it lets it sit in there. And then when it gets done, he hoists it back up, and then it hangs there. So he doesn't get splattered by it.
But he's not the only one that's done that.
No, I've seen all kinds of fucking people do it, but I mean,
my dad never had an engine jack or engine lift. So he would get 2 ladders and set them up and then put something like a stick, or not a stick, but like a rod in between. And then he would take like a strap.
Yeah.
Like a ratchet strap. And so he'd have the turkey on there.
I mean, look at Bob using his head, making his own little thing,
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite kind of turkey? Like if you're preparing the turkey, where are you going?
I'm gonna go. I mean, I like a deep fried turkey, but I'm a old school kind of guy, and I like the classic way. I just like baked turkey, bake it in the oven.
basted with the juices
Oh
and the
yeah, yeah,
stuffings inside, and
yeah, but rubbing, because I mean, I want an old school classic turkey. Nowadays, you got fucking people fucking picking up the skin, and you're sticking fucking all kinds of shit all in the skin. Just give me the damn thing where it's, you throw the butter on top, melt down, you're basting it, you got the stuff it inside the butt. That's what I
I
like.
I barbecued, smoked a turkey.
Now, smoked turkey's fire.
That was my favorite. I thought
Yeah.
fried turkey was my favorite up until I had a smoked turkey. But the thing is, like, we haven't cooked Thanksgiving dinner since then because it was Shelly and me and my mom and dad.
Well,
I got up at like 2 a.m. to start smoking the turkey. So, like, I did that. My dad was helping me, do certain things. My mom and Shelly made all the sides. We had all this food, and then we eat it all in 15 minutes.
that's the thing about cooking in general. You spend all this time cooking, and like Christmas, Thanksgiving, or just dinner in general, and you eat quick, and then you're like, well, that was fucking
So
5 hours.
so your family, like when you were in, well,
Well, when I was
here,
okay,
like when you're here, in high school, when you moved here and you were still in high school, what was like holidays?
well,
Like,
when
was
I
it
we
just like Dean and you, or like,
it was me, my mom, my dad, and my brother and sister. And then,
uh-huh,
we would invite, like, maybe somebody from the old man's unit would come over, you know what I'm
okay.
saying? Like, I didn't have somewhere to go, or moms would invite somebody over, or my, brother or sister would have a friend that would come over, or something like that. But when, that's how that was. But you know, as life went on, it was just the four of us, But when I was a kid, it'd be like the fucking Waltons and shit, because we go to my stepdad's fucking mom's house, and she had the room that you only ate in that room on special occasions like Christmas and Thanksgiving, or an anniversary or something for like a family event. And they would be the long table with the spread out. The adults ate there, the kids ate at the kids table. Um, but
Mhm.
grandma and the aunts and uncles are, not really uncles, but because the uncles and grandpa be out there getting drunk and hammered outside in the patio, and while the women were inside cooking, and then and that would be an all day event.
And that's
So
the thing, like, it's not an event anymore. It's like
no,
just dinner, you know. So,
I mean, when I go to my parents' house for the holidays, when I do go down there to visit them, mom's always like, "What do you want for dinner?" And me, I don't get to have mom's cooking, or the old man's
mhm.
cooking it that often. So I'm like, I'm picking something random. Like, I don't want, So I'm like, I'll take some spaghetti, and I get spaghetti every Christmas for fucking, if I want it. Because I mean, I don't want this. They still make the standard shit, but I want spaghetti.
I, I want my mom's meatloaf all day,
Yeah,
every day. You ask me what I want, and like meatloaf.
yeah. It sucks because, like, you don't realize how much you miss mom's cooking until you have it. And you're like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
nothing beats mom's cooking.
So, Shelly and I talk about this a lot, and like, no fault to my parents at all, either one of them. I ate a lot of fast food as a kid because it was me and my mom, because my
Yeah,
dad was gone, because somebody was doing some stupid shit over in another country, and they're, have to
they sent
defend America.
they sent out the A team.
Exactly. So we ate a lot of fast food. It didn't make sense to like cook. It really didn't. When you can get a Happy Meal for $1.50, and like she could get a combo for like $3, like,
Well, now that
I'm
would be
talking
like,
about, this was like 1981, 82, 83, 84.
yeah,
And then like my mom, Sundays we would go to my grandma's, or like my mom would cook, or my aunt would cook, or we'd go out to eat. Like, but that was about it. And like that was like the nice meal. But other than that, I didn't like go out to eat. I didn't like fast food, like McDonald's. I ate a lot of McDonald's, a lot of Crystal, Burger King every once in a while, Wendy's on occasion. Wendy's was like Sundays. We would go to Wendy's for the Super Bar.
Oh yeah, remember when when Wendy's had the fucking buffet, little buffet bar?
Super Bar.
Yeah.
The garlic bread was the greatest thing ever, and it was literally the buns, which Wendy's has some, like it was like the bun with the remember they had the little seeds on it, not like the McDonald's sesame seeds, but like the little poppy, like little yellow seeds on the bun.
Oh, like the little, yeah, I know you're talking like the dusted on there. I know you're talking about, but
exactly whatever.
I mean,
is
it cornmeal?
Probably. Oh yeah, that makes 100% makes sense.
Cornmeal.
It's magic dust.
Yeah, that sounds better because when you're a kid, it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I got to the point where, because they'd only make like 4 buns at most for like the garlic bread, and that, you know, that was like 12 pieces or whatever. That shit went like that. So I got to the point where I knew the toaster oven noise. I'm like, all right, gonna go get 2 pieces of bread, because that's my big thing. I'm a bread guy. Like,
oh yeah.
Cheddar Bay biscuits. What?
They don't, they don't taste the same at home. You have to eat them at fucking Red Lobster.
So I bought the mix before. It's good. Corey, Blondie's girlfriend, made Cheddar Bay stuffing for like Christmas or Thanksgiving. But in our freezer right now, because we got them in our grocer's freezer, Cheddar Bay biscuits that you just put in the oven. I haven't made them yet.
Oh, okay. That might be interesting.
But I'm wondering how the Red Lobster right up the street that I finally got Toby to go to, his first Red Lobster experience, it closed. It's gone.
Yeah, I saw that.
But the signs are still there. I really want that giant lobster. Big neon lobster, like lighted lobster for no reason.
I mean, so statute of limitations, what, 20 years?
Yeah, sure.
I took the McDonald's arches from McDonald's off the wall of the drive-through and had them in my apartment.
Nice.
And we went back through the drive-through the next fucking day like a bunch of idiots, and they were like, "Oh, you can't get no food. You stole our sign." I was like, they're like, "We have it on camera," and I'm like, So I went back to the house and I just came back to the drive-through and threw it out the window and just took off. And went back.
Oh, so you gave it back?
Yeah, but I didn't. I should have just gave it back and be like, all right, can I get my food now? But I didn't do that. I stole a lot of fucking signage back in the day from restaurants and fucking banks. I took the little thing that sucked the money up, that little thing. So when Carrot Top was,
those things are like $380 a piece or something.
Here's the thing,
like crazy amount just for that plastic.
Well, when we saw Carrot Top, and Carrot Top had a little bit where there was a hand in it, you know, he would send it back through. You got the hand, like, oh shit, my hand.
Austin P, right?
Yeah, and 94.
And he
April
went and peed.
94.
He went and peed. He went and peed.
Yeah, and no, he didn't pee. Somebody peed, and he followed him in there. And,
right.
Yeah. They had some good wireless back then. Microphones. So we were at the bank on the corner by my house, and we took it, and we take off. The next day, my buddy goes to the bank to deposit some money, and she's like, "Sir, we have called the cops, and your account has been documented. We know your information. We are filing a theft report on and they're talking about the suction thingy that we took. And we had to give it back because I mean I don't know why I took it, or it was always me taking shit, but it is what it is. I gave it back though.
All right. Well,
because I'm a good guy.
You're because the law made you, but you're a good guy.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck. I got in trouble. I don't give a fuck. I never gave a shit about getting in trouble. I got in trouble all the time. I didn't give a fuck. I was gonna say we're talking about. I don't know how we got. Oh, McDonald's still and shit. That's how we got to that. What right now? What is your favorite fast food chain?
I mean, I really like In-N-Out, but that's because like there's a novelty to it. I mean, the food's amazing. Like I like Whataburger as well.
Yeah, I like In-N-Out better.
Like I like In-N-Out. Like the burger quality is 100% better, but like the experience, still In-N-Out. But like as far as like the overall package, Whataburger, man, they got breakfast, they got like wide variety, they got good fries.
In-N-Out experience at 2 a.m. is where it's at. When you got everybody coming from the fucking club, place is a fucking, it's like a dance club basically. I remember one time when I was at my sister's house, we were going to In-N-Out. The line was so long at In-N-Out that her boyfriend got out of the car, went to Round Table Pizza, placed an order for a pizza, got the pizza, came back into the car. We were still in the drive-thru. So we ate pizza instead. Have you ever had Round Table Pizza?
I've never had Round Table Pizza, but I was
Round
just thinking,
Table and Shakey's are my favorite pizzas.
I do like Shakey's. You've had Fat Burger, right?
Yeah.
Are you fat fry, skinny fry?
It depends on my mood. I like them both, but I go fat fries.
Okay, all right.
I like a lot of potato, but it's like, remember back in our day when we used to go to Steak and Shake and they used to let us cook our own food? I like Steak and Shake skinny fries. I guess they're shoestring fries. That's when I think that burnt me out of shoestring fries though, because we would eat them so fucking much.
Do you hear Cobweb?
Yeah, I can see Cobweb.
Oh, can you hear him?
Yeah.
He decided to join
Grace
us.
him with the presence. Yeah.
So, Russ, this is basically what we're gonna do on our podcast,
the Moron Brothers Reflecting Hour.
Yes,
but there's also another part to this. You did this one the other day, so this is my turn. And what is that question, Rob?
I don't know, Russ. You have the notebook. I have a cat.
We each week we both pick a movie and a album to recommend to our listeners.
Yes, so it's your turn.
Yeah.
Right.
So last week you picked the Snack Shack. I'm going to pick. It's a newer movie, and I'm going to go ahead and shout out the 4:30 movie. I really enjoyed that. It kind of reminded me of us going to the movies when we were kids. Sneaking back and forth in the movies.
I always had, I think we had different lenses when like working at a movie theater too.
Well, this is when I was in the 80s. When I was going to movies with my friends, but older, yeah, it was, and then as far as an album to check out, we went a little more for you. We did a couple, but I'm going to say that if you haven't already listened to it or checked out this artist, I'm going to recommend that you check out The Offspring's Smash from 1990s.
Ignition was the one before that, right?
Correct. And then before that was self-titled, or vice versa. But yeah, okay. Jennifer lost the award today. So that's what I'm going to say. But, well, what podcast are we on right now? We are on the Been Trying to Meet You podcast.
Yes. And next week, Toby and Jim will be back from outer space.
And
secret word is Armageddon, if anybody was wondering.
Yeah, that's the secret word. So, yeah. So is that it? Are we done? We signing off?
I think so. I think the cat says I gotta
Catter.
Do something.
Yeah. Well, check out Been Trying to Meet You. Obviously, like and subscribe. Check out the Moron Brothers Reflecting Hour coming at you soon. And check out my podcast if you're really bored, called You Want It, You Got It. The cat is the star. That is correct. The cat is the star.
I mean, that's usual.
all right.
What does that say? Where do they need to go again?
You go into beentryingtosignup.com and be a guest. You'll have plenty of dates to pick from.
I mean, they have like a week.
Just Wednesdays though, for now.
It's like one day.
Yeah. Hello, Shelly.
Hello, wife. All right. Thanks, everyone. Next week, Jim, Toby, we have a guest. It's a female. What? We're back to the regular bat program. Thank you, Russ. We'll see you soon. All right. Bye, everyone.